if it's 1-on-1, then sure, Porter Jr. is better. But I think 5-on-5, I'd rather have Cam Johnson. And also culturally, I think I'd rather have Cam Johnson.
You don't want Curious Mike
in my locker room. Okay, the Denver Nuggets, actual contenders. Yeah. I think this team is better. I think Michael Porter Jr. out, Cam Johnson in is better. Jonas Valanciunas in, Tim Hardaway Jr. we'll see. And I still have hope for Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson to be something, and Christian Brown is good.
I'm of the opinion that the Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson swap is pretty overrated and not better. But I do think the flexibility financially allowed them to bring back Bruce Brown and re-sign, and also bring in Tim Hardaway Jr. So I think rounding out the edges on that collectively is better than just having MPJ, but I would take MPJ straight up over Cam Johnson.
Would you take him? Is this even as a fit in Denver? You would take MPJ over Cam Johnson? Because to me, as an individual, like if it's 1-on-1, then sure, Porter Jr. is better. But I think 5-on-5, I'd rather have Cam Johnson. And also culturally, I think I'd rather have Cam Johnson.
You don't want Curious Mike
in my locker room. But yeah, make the case. I want to hear this.
I think MPJ is a great rebounder for a team that lacks a secondary rebounder. And he's better in that role. I think he's a better just straight up shooter. I think he's a better movement shooter. I think he's a better catch and shoot shooter. I think he's a better ISO scorer for when they, are Jamal's might be on the shelf and they need a secondary scorer. So I would rather have Michael Porter Jr. But again, collectively, Cam Johnson allowed them to bring back Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. So THJ is another elite floor spacer, and Bruce Brown is another elite depth and second unit guy that could then float in the starting lineup and probably just maybe a equal to or better for Denver than Russ was last year. And therefore, I understand it on the collective.
Yeah, and it also costs like a first round pick that you don't particularly care about. It's very far down the line.
And with Jokic saying he wants to be in Denver forever, that pick in 2032 is more likely to be, because I think the Nets were taking the shot of like, what if he goes somewhere in 2027, or like, what if he retires early? So we'll see, but it does seem like if Jokic is still there, then that pick will be a 20s or beyond.
And given that they're, I think, better now, it's worth it just on the surface. Like especially if you could win a second title with Jokic within the next 3 years or something along those lines, 2-3 years. As far as games played, because Michael Porter Jr. famously the back issue, and he's been injured, but he's been out there the last couple of years. 77 games this past year, 81 the year before, 62 the year before that, and obviously limited to 9 before that, but. The 81 and the 77 is only missed 6 regular season games from the last 2 seasons. Cam Johnson, 57 games last year, 58 games last year. Now, context.
25 the year prior, 17 the year prior with the Suns.
Oh, well, combined, because he got traded that year.
That's a combined one. So that's
42.
Another
he still missed half the year. He still missed half the year.
He's never played 65 games, 66, more than 66 games.
Yeah.
I think that's just I think everyone de facto says like MPJ has the injury risk. It's like Cam Johnson's is there, if not worse.
Yes. Now, contextually, if he's on a better team, does he play more than 57 games last year? Maybe, but we don't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe, but we don't know that.
Does he play 77? Probably not.
Probably not. Now we'll see how that happens this year, or how that sort of unfolds this year, and. This will be a test, right? So you still have Aaron Gordon, and you mentioned Bruce Brown. We'll see what happens with Strawther and Watson, but these are the types of dudes who are going to be required to step up in the event that Cam Johnson has to go down for another 20, 25, 30 games or whatever it is. So somebody else has to pop, and I do think they will. I still think Julian Strawther could be like a knockdown. Like last year was his first year with real minutes. I think he could be a knockdown 3-point shooter, floor spacer, um, who could come off your bench, maybe even be a starting three at some point of his career. The defense is where he needs to really like assert himself. And Bruce Brown has familiarity in that system, having won a title there. So yeah, I think Denver's a for sure contender. Probably, I think second best team in the league on paper right now, heading into the season. Maybe. Speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, they're next on our list, on our completely randomized list.
Don't look at us. That one fits nicely. Although I will say in the win totals market, they were like heavily bet towards the over. Like it opened at 18.5 and it's been bet up to 21.5. Can I explain that? No, I think Jordi Fernandez is a great
Yes.
coach.
Yes. +1 here. Yep.
And so maybe the MPJ, Cam Thomas, Claxton can score enough and defend the rim well enough. They will variance themselves some games. They've definitely taken over money. They definitely don't look at us team, and there's probably little to say beyond that.
Yeah. The only reasons to look will be just chaos. 5 rookies, many of whom played the same position, and do similar things from one another. You also have Cam Thomas, who I think I said the same thing last year. I'm gonna say it again this year, because now he took the qualifying offer, as I heard he may do. This means, once again, that fucking ball is going up. He's playing for a new contract next summer where teams have more space. He's trying to prove that he could be more than what he's been, a winning player. I don't know if he'll be able to prove that this year given the team, but it's going to be him and Michael Porter Jr. Just your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. They're a don't look at us team, although I will be watching them occasionally because, one, born and raised in New York, and two, sicko. Just pure sicko. Also, over under, like there's a pretty good chance a net winds up on my fantasy team. Pretty good chance. Don't know who, but pretty good chance.